Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It is a lovely, quiet, overcast spring Sunday morning. There's nothing going on today, so I figured it's absolute perfect time for me to sit down and to just kind of recap and go over the decks that I've brought in for myself personally and the ones that I've kind of been working with throughout the month, as well as different tools and different things that I've brought in to work with inside of Indigo Moon. So, Soot Salt is my online store of Indigo Moon. It's also my YouTube channel. And I kind of channeled like my tarot divination, like that side of things, into Soot Salt. And then on the other side of things is my brick and mortar location, which is called Indigo Moon, and I teach Reiki, I do Reiki, um, more of that kind of stuff. There's workshops, there's a bunch of different things that happen on that side of things. Kind of separated the two entities to just kind of keep them separate, um, for no reason other than it just makes it easier for me to keep track of things. Now, Indigo Moon is my home. The front half of the building is Indigo Moon. The back half and bottom level is obviously my home. And I do live in a 120-year-old church that I operate out of. It was decommissioned over 20 years ago. It has been repoed a million times. When we got it, it had fallen into disrepair and was in need of major work to make it safe and functioning and healthy atmosphere. So we spent a summer doing that, and we've been here for about 4 years now. So it was a wild and crazy ride. It was really quite a strange process, and it is still weird living in a church. My home being a church, it's very strange. There's a lot of energetic things that happen here that are unexplainable. There's just a lot of stuff that happens. But I mean, at the end of the day, if anyone's going to be able to live in this atmosphere, it would be me. So we are able to communicate to each other. We are able to understand each other. And, I've helped it just as much as it's helped me. But without further ado, let's get into and look at the different things that I've brought in for pretty much like the month of April, and just the different things that I've worked on, and all of that lovely. I'm telling you, sometimes like a morning tea just feels so good, and it just like relaxes everything. All right, so there has been a couple different decks that I've brought in for the month of April. Obviously, I've brought in decks to be in Soot and Salt, the online store, but like I said, I'm not going to go over those. This is more about like my personal practice and what I've been working with for April. Now, the first ones that came in, and I don't know who came first, but this one's on top, so I'll grab this. But this was definitely at the beginning of the month that I brought this in. I did one reading with it and I put it off to the side. And the unfortunate part is it's not that it's not a beautiful deck, it's the fact that the cardstock is so horrible. It's just it's really bad. It's really bad cardstock. Um, I don't know. I haven't been working with it because of that, to tell you honest to God truth. And it's really unfortunate because, like, if they just did better cardstock, this would have been an amazing deck and situation. Like, it's got a bow. Like, I'm not even, look at, like, it's already bowing. Like, I haven't even spent any time with this. But it's one of these situations where I don't think it's going to last. I considered returning it, but I had waited, like, I pre-ordered this back in December, and I had waited such a long time for it. And I'm huge into the Gaia energy and just nature and Mother Earth, and mushrooms and all that different stuff. I've always been fascinated with like mushrooms and seeds and things like that since I was a little girl. Just insane with them. I don't know why. I'm just very drawn to them. So I've been on the hunt for a mushroom deck for a long time. And like I said in a previous, I think it was in the unboxing of this, I didn't get any mushroom decks that have been out at this point because they're too hippy dippy. They're too like psychedelic or just weird. Sometimes the mushrooms are drawn in like really phallic like, and I wanted a deck like this where it's showing them and what they actually look like out in nature. And, if you were hiking down a trail and you encountered it, what it looks like. And, a realistic drawing. And the artwork in this deck is phenomenal. It's just the cardstock is absolutely horrendous. And unfortunately, it kind of it kind of wrecks the experience. And I don't know. That just really sucks. I wished better for this deck. I really did. I'm still gonna work with it, I think, but I have come to learn that I'm very much a cardstock person. Like if a cardstock doesn't feel good, if it doesn't shuffle good, if it doesn't have that durability, or that like texture experience that I'm looking for, I tend to put it off to the side and it kind of wrecks my uh, connection with the deck. I ran into it with the Gentle Tarot. I ran into it with this. I've run into it with several decks that I've rehomed or have moved on because the card stock just is it's it's horrible. So I really wish these mass market manufacturers would realize like how important it is the way that these cards feel and what they print these like what they make the decks out of. So I don't know. It's unfortunate. I decided to keep it though because the artwork is just amazing. And I'm just going to have to maybe sit down and just try to work with this and get past the feeling of this cardstock. And, hopefully this gets reprinted someday onto better cardstock and things are just different for this deck because it's amazing. It should have never been cheaped out on the way that it was. So that's really unfortunate. But I'm going to try to spend time with it and I'm going to try to look past it to the best of my abilities. But yeah, so I think this was the first one that came in for the month for the most part, as far as what I've ordered for myself. The next one was these two showed up together, which is the Unise Yaus and the Stunning Tarot. This was another pre-order that I did. Super pumped. The Stunning Tarot, the only one that I had was the second edition, I believe, was the little one that was on Bridge. I just didn't connect with me, so I actually moved it on, and it went to one of my relatives, and so it now has its new home where it's being loved and used. And the person that purchased it off of me is extremely content with it and just absolutely loves it. So I'm really excited about that because my biggest thing is I just don't want them to sit here and just hang out on a shelf. They're meant to be used. They're meant to be enjoyed. They're meant to be, put into practice. And there's no sense in it sitting on my shelf and just sitting here. If it can find a home and someone's going to love it and use it, then like why wouldn't I move it on, right? So it just happened to be an absolute perfect situation. So these two decks, like, I mean, it won't surprise anybody for me to say this, but like literally magic, absolutely phenomenal. Both of these decks are an amazing experience. These are probably top notch, like right up there in my practice now. These hold a very, very special spot in my collection. And the cardstock is like it's that textural experience that I said like I was looking for. Um, it's amazing. They're phenomenal. There's so much that I enjoy about this deck. It's just an amazing experience. And anybody out there who has the Unise, you know what I'm talking about. It's amazing, and it's definitely, it is what it is, and but like in the greatest ways possible. I was really blown away by this deck, and I enjoy it so much. It's like I said, it's like these two decks sitting at the top of my tier, and then everything else kind of trickles down from there. These are like the champions of my collection. They just read so good, and they're just amazing. So yeah, I'm like super uber excited. These are part of my collection now. I can't get over them. They're so magical. They are so special. Anybody out there that does not have this or this deck and has kind of been like, well, I don't really know, and on the fence about it, get off the fence. It's amazing. It's a phenomenal deck. The next time they come around, set your alarms and your timers and go after this deck. I couldn't suggest it more. Like, it's phenomenal. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I'm so glad that it's part of my collection. And then as far as like the Stunning Tarot, same thing. Like it's like that dream card stock. It's like I don't even know how to explain it. I've never felt anything like it. It's just phenomenal. And like I said, I had a really hard time connecting to this deck when I got it in the second edition. And it is not like that with this. There's something about these like almost like these panoramic, but like panoramics like usually this way, right? So like I don't know what you would consider this, but like it's like vertical panoramic. Like I don't even know if that's even a thing, but amazing experience. I love this deck. I love everything about it. I'm really enjoying my time with it. Magic, pure magic. And like once again, it's that gorgeous cardstock. It's just it's such a good read. Both of these decks are such good reads. So I don't know, I really enjoying my time with both of them. I love the color palette. It's so unique and interesting. Like the vivid reds and purples and yellows and whites and I can't even get over it. Like honestly, it's magnificent. There's so much great about this. And like that High Priestess, like ooh, I don't know. I love the High Priestess. So yeah, both these decks came in the beginning of April, and they have not gone away. They are sitting on my table. They are constantly being touched and used and all of that stuff. Um, really, really, really enjoying them. So yeah, they haven't even gone away. And I don't think they will. Like I said, they're out. I use them. I enjoy them. Not like the tuck boxes are really nice, and you know I don't mind them so much. They're very loose. Like the lids are very loose, which is good. I enjoy that. I don't wanna fight and struggle with tuck boxes and wreck, anything. The other set that came in was my Black Violet Tarot, the white edition or white deck, whatever they're calling it. I was really hard on this at first, honestly, like really hard on it. I was super judgy wedgy. And I'm still not, there's always the one card that sticks. I'm still not a fan of, um, I'm still not a fan of the pictures being small. I wish they were just a little bit bigger because the artwork is very powerful, and it's a very woman empowering deck. I There is not a single man in this deck. There is no male energy. I really like that about it. I've been using it for like new moon stuff and full moon stuff, and just to sit, it tells it like it is. It's straightforward. It's a great read. It really honestly is. I'm really enjoying my time with it. But like I said, I just wish that these images were just somehow bigger. something different going on here. Because I do find myself like bringing the cards up close to my face to see like the details of what's happening, right? Some of them you're like, okay, I get that. But other ones I'm just kind of like, I gotta bring it up closer to my face to see what's happening. I really, though, like this card. This is one of the extra cards. It's amazing. Really just enjoying it. Very intuitive. Great read. Like I can't say enough good things about it. The cardstock's great. The size of it's great. I love its reading. I really do. This was another one that has not gone away. It is sitting on my bedside. It sits on this like right next to my bed, and I actually use it every night before I go to bed since it's come in. And I really, like I said, I'm really enjoying its readings. It's a fantastic deck. Very intuitive, straight shooter. You know, when I'm having a situation or something happening and I'm like, I need to understand exactly what is happening. Like I don't want to play games. It's this deck. It does not play games. It's amazing. Really enjoying my time with this one. And that's the Black Violet Tarot, the white deck. And then this one just showed up a couple days ago. It's my vintage edition of the Voyager Tarot. I'll do a quick little skip through it. So the funny thing is the reason why the book is so messed up here is because it doesn't sit down low enough. And when you slide this lid over, it catches the edge right here, as you can see. And that's what's making the, and it's sliding, right? And that's what's scuffing it so bad. That's that's the thing about it. So it's not really, and then obviously like the book from being opened, the glue is starting to let go and the pages are starting to rip, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Um, I'm really enjoying my time with this. So I have the current edition and I actually did an unboxing on it. I spent a little bit of time with it and something just kept telling me to find the vintage edition. And so I ordered it. I hunted it down on eBay, ordered it, and returned the current version and waited for this. It is fantastic. I just did a bunch of readings with it yesterday. It is amazing. Amazing deck. I cannot, like, I don't know. There's just something about this like vintage edition. The pictures are much more clearer. These beige borders are more complementary to the photos or the collage, I guess I should say, as opposed to that light green that it is right now. The deck, the cardstock is amazing. It's still glossy, right? It's still glossy. That's okay. I don't mind gloss. If the cardstock is great, and this is an amazing cardstock. It shuffles so nice, and I like that the cards are bigger. It to me, it puts you into this artwork better. It allows you to see what's going on in here better. But like I said, the pictures are way clearer. The current edition that's out right now, the artwork is it is a little blurry and it is a little fuzzy. And I would have never noticed that until I got this in. And then I was like, whoa, yeah, these are way crisper and clearer and just a much better read. Um, I still enjoyed my readings from the current version. Don't get me wrong. Oh, I love this card, man. I'm telling you. I still love the readings from, and this one too. I still love the readings from the current version that's out. It was still a great read. But this is once again, like I said, that experience, that texture experience where you've got the bigger cards, the clearer images, the better card stock. It just shuffles nicer. It's just you can get into that space better. When you have card stock that doesn't feel good or pictures that aren't printed clear, it changes the entire experience and not for the good. You know, as far as tarot card reading, we're supposed to be concentrating. We're supposed to be thinking about, you know, what we're asking or a situation we want light on. And when we're, you know, struggling with a deck and it's clumping around and is not, you know, sliding and acting correctly, that takes away from your concentration and it takes away from your experience. So, if you are a fan of the Voyager Tarot and you do not have a vintage edition, go onto eBay and get yourself one because it is amazing. It's a game changer for this deck, and I like it's been with me for almost a week now, and I literally have not put it away. It's another. It's really funny. All the decks that I've brought in April, besides the Midnight Magic, they have not gone away. They are in rotation, sitting in all of my stuff, and is just they're not going away. Um, this deck though, this deck surprised me with the level of connection I had with it and just the messages that are coming through. It's an amazing experience. But yeah, definitely, if you're into the Voyager Tarot, get yourself a vintage copy. And from what I'm understanding, is anything from like the 90s to its original release in 84, it is all like this. So this is one from the 90s. This is a 91 print or a 92 print, I believe. And superior quality. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I'm really, really, really enjoying my time with this deck. It's fantastic. I'm so happy, and I think this is the first like actual used vintage copy of something that I've bought. I don't typically tend to do that because of like energy and different things, right? So I believe this is the only pre-owned vintage edition of anything that I've bought. I have all of my stuff has been is brand new. So this has been like a very first experience for me. And now I'm like on eBay and I'm like, okay, like what else can I get that's, you know, a vintage used copy because I've had such an amazing experience with this. So yeah, I don't know. It was amazing. See, and this is why it gets caught on the edge of this box. So I might have to do something different about this, especially if I'm going to keep using it. I might have to just take it out of its box and put it into something. So those are kind of the cards and decks that I've brought in for April. There's probably a few more kicking around, but I don't want to spend too much time on just decks. I did bring in some different tools and stuff that I've been working with. So I actually brought in some stuff to from the Himalayas. So I have a nice direct connection to like Himalayan Lemurian stuff. So I brought in this beautiful, 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 like high quality. Like, look at how see through this is. Like there's not a single speck in it. So this is a high quality Himalayan Lemurian bullet pendulum, short chain, which I'm a fan of. And this thing is insane. Like it's, you know, to make it, you know, ask questions and just use it like it's like yeah. I love it. I use this stuff in work my Reiki work. I do a lot of pendulum work with my Reiki, and it's one of my methods of teaching. So it's definitely something that's been going on for a while now. And this Himalayan bullet, like I can't like because of the camera, right? Obviously, but it's amazing. I can't get over it. It's so beautiful. Crystal clear. There's not a single inclusion in it. Nothing. It's so high vibrational. I love it. So yeah, that's my little pendulum that I brought in for April. And I use it. Sorry, I'm just gonna put all the boxes so it looks nice. I've been using it. I'm really enjoying my time with it. I have also brought in these two. So these are Himalayan Lemurian crystal points that I work with doing Reiki as well. Some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lines. I don't know if you can see them. I don't know if they're going to pick up, but there's some beautiful etchings. It is self-healed. I actually believe it's self-healing, like as it's been here. It's got some nice iron crust on it. So yeah, I've just been using this. It's energetically beautiful. And then this is a golden healer, natural golden healer, Himalayan Lemurian. And it has beautiful etchings on it as well too, but it actually has, and I can't see, like I may be able to find it, it has natural iridescence, which is not so commonly found. It's kind of a thing that I feel happens in the Himalayas, and this is just a very, very magical point that I've been working with and using. It's amazing. Both of these. Oh, I just got, there's a huge rainbow in this one. I don't even know. You can see it kind of here. But crystals are hard to pick up in camera. Crystals don't like being caught on camera. They don't react well to a natural light. They're all about nature. This window and this one's really cool. I don't know if you'll even be able to pick it up. See it? It's like such a perfect little window. Yeah, I don't know. Really enjoying these two. Really great for my stuff. And then I brought in these ones. I don't know where their bags, the velvet bag went that it came into. I actually put it away and then I have no idea where it is. So I started working with sound frequency a little while ago, and then I brought in these. So this one is actually set at the vibration of clear quartz. So like it's like crystal, it's like a crystal vibration. And then these two are your higher vibrations. One's an angel realm, and I can't remember what the other one was off the top of my mind. They are very, very, very high frequency. Like they hurt your ears if you like. I don't even know if you'll hear that. I don't have the striker with me, but you can strike them and then hold them on this, and it resets the vibrational frequency of this crystal if you needed to. You can also use it obviously to clean decks and different stuff like that. I can't even. I don't have anything. I don't know if your camera will even pick it up. But yeah, so I've been bringing these in. I do not use these with my customers. I've actually been using these more for after they've been here, and like maybe to like reset my crystals and different stuff like that as I've needed to. But yeah, so it's kind of been my the first little dive into the tuning fork world, and I'm really enjoying my time with it. I have purchased another, like a full tuning fork set. So we'll be going over that. Maybe I'll maybe bring it in May and my May morning TNC, and we'll talk about that and kind of see what's going on with that. But yeah, these are quite like, they're amazing. These ones, they can give me a headache really fast, so I've got to be really careful with it. And they can bug your ears, so be aware of that as well too. And I can't remember where I purchased these from. I believe I bought them off of a little shop in the UK, and I had them brought in, and I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. But yeah, so that was kind of what I brought in for April and what I've been working with and spending time with. Just a bunch of different things, just some nice crystals, a different pendulum, and then, like I said, the few decks that I showed that I've brought in and I've been working with and just really enjoying my time with. Thank you for joining in and watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Thanks.